Friday, March 6, 2026. Welcome back to the Two Witnesses Live. I'm your host, Watchful. 2,000 years ago, our Father in heaven told his Son what to expect and what to teach us was going to take place before he returned. He told us these things beforehand so that when they begin to happen, we will believe. And that's exactly what we're doing on this show, is watching those things happen so that those who don't believe will believe, and so that those who do believe will have their faith reassured more than ever. We have a lot of things going on. Still got war going on with Israel, and today is the Sabbath starts soon, so probably be a shorter day. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to put a clock on here. We're not going to go more than an hour, just so that we can get everybody to relaxing with your family and with God, and hopefully you'll stop all your work and take a break from the things that you normally do. So put a timer on, and then let's get into the news. So tonight we're diving straight into the biggest story rocking the world right now, the escalating conflict in the Middle East. The U.S.-Israel strikes on Iran and President Trump's bold leadership. This is moving fast. The war started just over a week ago on February 28th, and things are intensifying. So let's break it down point by point. First point, the core conflicts. President Trump has laid it out crystal clear. Iran must deliver unconditional surrender. No negotiations, no deals, unless it is total capitulation. He's even expressed interest in personally helping select Iran's next leader once the current regime is gone. That's huge. Regime change is on the table. Israel is hammering Tehran, Beirut, and other targets pretty hard. They've destroyed a bunker tied to Iran's supreme leader. Reports say the Ayatollah Ali Khamenei was killed in the opening strikes, and they're pounding Hezbollah's positions in Lebanon. Israeli ground troops are pushing deeper into southern Lebanon. U.S. forces aren't holding back either. We've struck an Iranian drone carrier, used advanced tech like lasers. Did you guys hear about that? They're using lasers. Sharks with freaking laser beams on their head. No. Pretty sure they're laser beams on boats. They're using lasers to take down drones, and reports say over 30 Iranian vessels have been hit in naval operations. Iran is getting decimated. Trump says their Air Force and Navy are basically gone, and it'll take them a decade to rebuild, which they'll never have that opportunity. All right, let's see. Now, complicating things, Russia is reportedly feeding Iran intelligence on U.S. military positions in the Middle East. According to the Washington Post, citing U.S. officials, since the strikes began last Saturday, Moscow has shared locations of warships, aircraft, and other assets. It's described as a pretty comprehensive effort, though how accurate it is remains unclear. Russia isn't directing strikes, but they're helping Iran target us indirectly. That's a serious escalation. Russia and Iran have that strategic partnership, and this shows just how deep it goes. Now, the economic ripple effects are hitting home fast. Oil prices have skyrocketed. U.S. crude topping $91 a barrel, the highest in over 2 years. Gas prices are surging. Markets are in turmoil. The Dow is down 650 to 700 points recently. Unexpected job losses of 92,000 in February, and recession fears are growing. Shipping through the Strait of Hormuz is under major strain. Talks of naval escorts for tankers, but no firm timeline yet. This is real pain at the pump and in the economy. Now, on Capitol Hill, both the House and Senate rejected war power resolutions to limit Trump's authority in this conflict. Congress is backing him, letting the commander-in-chief do what it is that needs to be done. Now, let's see. Shifting gears a bit domestically. President Trump has finally had enough of Tucker Carlson's criticisms. In an interview with ABC's Jonathan Karl, Trump said, quote, Tucker has lost his way. I knew that a long time ago, and he's not MAGA. MAGA is saving our country. MAGA is making our country great again. MAGA is America first, and Tucker is none of those things. And Tucker is really not smart enough to understand that. Carlson called the Iran strikes absolutely disgusting and evil. He's been critical on other issues too, like Epstein files and Ukraine, but Trump calls the Iran decision a massive success. Says people are loving it, and Iran has been decimated for a 10-year period. Tucker was once a big MAGA voice. White House visits, RNC speakers in 2024, but now there's a clear split. And Secretary of War Pete Hegseth weighs in powerfully from CENTCOM headquarters in Tampa, standing with ADM Admiral Brad Cooper. He said Trump has handed the Iranian people a chance for freedom. No one's done more than President Trump to reopen the opportunity for those who want a free Iran. Hegseth said he warned not to protest while bombs are dropping, but there will come a moment when the people rise up. We're targeting those who suppress protests, eroding the regime's will, and creating space for bold action. Let's see. Trump told Reuters he expects the U.S. to be involved in choosing Iran's next leader. He ruled out the son of the late supreme leader as successor. When asked about the exiled crown prince Reza Pahlavi, Trump said, "Everybody's in the mix. It's very early." He also voiced strong support for the Kurds. If Iranian Kurdish forces in Iraq launch an offensive inside Iran, Trump says, "I'd be all for it." If they're going to do that, that'd be good. Their goal is to win against security forces. Despite this controversy, polls show Trump's approval within the Republican Party is historic. CSN's Harry Enton highlighted it. At this point in his second term, GOP approval is 86%, which is higher than Obama or Bush at similar points. Strong approval at 53% among MAGA supporters. It's 97% in some Fox polls. The overall approval is at 44%, matching or beating past presidents in tough times. Republicans love Trump now more than ever. That's true. I mean, wait till you get to some of the posts that he posted today. They're pretty darn exciting. Yeah. Congresswoman Rashid Tlaib claimed Israel's addicted to bombing hospitals, schools, refugee camps, calling them war crimes. Boy, is she out of the loop. But but let's be real. This is projection. Palestinians elected Hamas, whose charter calls for killing Jews, and they carried it out. Israel warns civilians to evacuate. Hamas uses human shields, hospitals, mosques, schools for missiles, hostages, terrorists. That violates the law of war. Israel's actions align with reducing civilian harm as feasible. Straight out of the U.S. Law of War Manual. All right, let's see. In Argentina, a new arrest warrant for an Iranian official tied to the 1994 AMIA bombing. Just as that same guy, Ahmed Vahidi, was named head of the IRGC after the previous leader was killed in strikes. Vahidi ran the Quds forces back then. Argentinians see poetic justice. The strikes killed Khamenei on a street named Louis Pasteur. Same as the AMIA street in Buenos Aires. 85 killed in that attack. Hezbollah executed it. More warrants issued for Iranian and Lebanese suspects. Accountability is catching up. And I would add that we saw this in the stars. You know, first of all, the eclipse in Aquarius and the planetary alignments of the 6 planets all through Aquarius, which Aquarius is pouring out judgment. Let's see, back to Tucker. Tucker sparked more controversy by accusing Chabad Lubavitch of pushing for a third temple reconstruction as a part of stoking the war for religious reasons. He called it esoteric, culty tied to destroying Muslim sites on the Temple Mount. Chabad pushed back hard, with support pouring in from the Jewish community. One rabbi joked they'd open the Chabad of Tucker Carlson's brain, outpouring of love for Chabad's charitable work worldwide. Trump called Israeli President Herzog a disgrace and demanded an immediate pardon for Netanyahu amid the war. I want him to focus on the war and not on the effing court case, Trump told Axios. He talks to Bibi daily, says the corruption trial is a distraction, a witch hunt. Herzog's office says no, it's a sovereign matter under law. Opposition leader Jair Lapid hit back. Israel isn't a U.S. protectorate. All right, and finally, in closing, a quick domestic note. Ken Paxton says he'd drop his Senate run against Cornyn if Trump orders it, but he is defiant. Trump joked it makes him lean Cornyn. Texas is the Lone Star state for a reason, not easy to control. All right. That about covers it for the Fury News Report from our assistant Fury in the chat. You may have met her. And with that, let's move on to our daily Torment report.
Through trials faced, through testing days, you've kept my word, walked in my ways. Though strength was small, you held your ground. The door I've opened cannot be bound. They turned away, they closed their eyes, but I have written what none denies. Through fleeting fear and fleeting shame, you stood for truth, upheld my name. Hold fast, your crown is sure.
All right, starting off with our boy, Donald Trump. So this is his pinned post. It's been pinned for 3 days. If you're in another country and you need a flight out of there, the information is posted on the top of Donald Trump's Truth Social, even with a phone number. They'll even pay for it for you. Moving on, 20 minutes ago, Memphis Safe Task Force. This is a picture of something that he posted. 6,800 total arrests, 1,100 firearms seized, 700 gang members arrested, 800 illegal immigrants removed, and 148 missing children recovered. Oh, that's the part I like the most, getting those kids back. I can imagine how heartbreaking it must be to lose your child. You know, and it happens so often that there's just real no comprehension of the number of lives that are lost and stolen. I love it when they're refound. You know what I mean? Like when children are recovered. Just can't say enough good about that. Let's see. Memphis Task Force. Arsenio Davis charges first-degree murder, second-degree murder, possession of a firearm during a commission of a dangerous felony, convicted felon in possession of a handgun. Okay. Why is he posting this? Is this who was caught? Memphis Safe Task Force. Is that who was caught? I don't understand it. Why is he posting a picture of that guy? Memphis Task Force. Eric Wickerson charges attempted first-degree murder. So these must be some of the people that they've gotten off the street. So he's making a point here that there's a problem in Memphis and that they're doing good. They're getting these evil people off the streets. It's a bunch of murderers. Yeah. All right. Let's see. 3 hours ago, we just concluded a very good meeting with the largest U.S. defense manufacturer companies where we discussed production and production schedules. They have agreed to quadruple production of the exquisite classed weaponry and that we want to reach as rapidly as possible the highest levels of quantity. Expansion began 3 months prior to the meeting, and plants and production of many of these weapons are already underway. We have a virtually unlimited supply of medium and upper medium grade munitions. which we are using as an example in Iran and recently used in Venezuela, regardless. However, we have also increased orders at these levels. The companies represented were the CEOs of BAE Systems, Boeing, Honeywell, Aerospace, L3 Harris, Missile Solutions, Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, and Raytheon. The meeting concluded with another meeting scheduled in 2 months. States all over the country are bidding for these new plants. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Cool. More, let's see, that's the post of the Memphis thing. What is this, 8 hours ago? Is this Memphis pulling up picture? Fire Kathy Hochul. Go Bills. Okay. Whatever. Let's see. Harmeet Dillon. In the let's see. It's the United States' duty to review data and documents of federally funded universities to ensure applicants. To ensure applicants are not subject to discrimination. Under POTUS's leadership, the Justice Department will not allow Harvard to block access to these materials. See you in court. Harvard, man, their name is just going through the mud. Just colleges in general. I don't understand how anybody would want to go to college in this day and age. You almost don't need to. You can learn probably more than you would learn in college on YouTube, and you can choose your curriculum. I mean, there's even resources online. Actually, I think you can even get the college courses online these days. It's like everything is free. Why would you get yourself hundreds of thousands of dollars in debt to deal with the woke indoctrination at college? Anyway, I don't think colleges are going to survive. If the Lord delays, if he lingers, I don't think colleges are going to survive. Michael Watley, I will never let North Carolina down. Thank you, President Trump. Donald Trump said, America first, patriot. Oh, this is an endorsement. We don't need to read that. Bunch of articles. I don't want to read these articles. What is this one? Stephen Moore, new Unleashed Prosperity study, 401k1 balance under Trump saw. Oops, where'd it go? My touchpad is super sensitive. Just like hovering my hand over it will tap. Stephen Moore, new Unleashed Prosperity study, 401k balance under Trump saw an inflation-adjusted gain of $20,000 for American workers. Well, by contrast, during the 4 years of the Biden administration, the average 401k saw a crushing $24,000 loss. So it's balanced out. Cool. Unleash prosperity. Cool. I agree with Elon Musk at this point. Don't even bother saving for the future. Christ is coming back. Do you think we'll have a monetary system when Christ returns? I mean, we read yesterday that the parable of the minas, or the parable of the talents, when he returns, based on how based on what you did with what you were given while he was gone, will determine how he places you in a position of responsibility, assuming the parable of the talents is referring to him, which I do believe it is. It seems logical that it's a parable of what to expect when he returns. And the one who was given 10 talents and doubled the talents he's put in charge of 10 cities. Do you think we will still have a financial system, or do you think it will be some other kind of system? I'm kind of leaning towards Elon Musk's idea of prosperity, to where resources will no longer be a point of contention. Like, everybody will be able to have as much as they need, and probably as much as they want, for not only living, but for also anything that their hearts would endeavor to do. Just my personal opinion. So I kind of lean, for different reasons, obviously, towards Elon Musk's mentality of don't bother saving for the future. Don't take this as financial advice. Because I could be wrong about the timing, and I don't want to be sued because, you decided to stop saving. But you get the point. You understand the point that I'm making, though. It's not financial advice. Just here, let me put it this way. I agree with Elon. So if anybody's going to get in trouble, go after him. My reasoning is different, though, because I think Christ is coming back. All right, moving on. So many articles. All right, there will be no deal with Iran except unconstitutional surrender. Could you imagine? There will be no deal with Iran except unconditional surrender. After that, and the selection of a great and acceptable leader or leaders, we and many of our wonderful and very brave allies and partners will work tirelessly to bring Iran back from the brink of destruction, making it economically bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. Iran will have a great future. Make Iran great again. MEGA. Thank you for your attention to this matter, President Donald J. Trump. And there we go. That is everything he has posted today so far. I haven't had a chance to listen to anything he may have said, so let's go have a quick look-see over at the White House just to see if they posted anything over there. Videos. Where's the memes? There's supposed to be a bunch of memes that are hilarious. Are they on the White House X.com? An hour ago, President Trump participates in the Saving College Sports Roundtable. Meh. All right, let's move on to Elon. Maybe he'll have some good memes for us. If not, I'll go do a quick search for those memes. Actually, I could do it over here. There we are. White House. Defining moment, American history, a clear mandate from the American people.
Sometimes in history, there's this magic moment. Somebody appears on the scene and everything changes.
I am with you.
We've never seen anything like this.
I will fight for you.
This was a man who's met his destiny.
And I will win for you.
He said he was saved by God in order to make America great again.
His victory was the greatest comeback of all time.
You're watching history, so buckle up.
I don't think the American people have ever seen this before. A government that has moved this quickly and a president that has done so much when it comes to the border and energy and major investments from other countries. It's like warp speed.
47's on a hot streak, bringing head-snapping change to Washington, overwhelming the system with a volcanic eruption of action. Trump has a mandate from the people, and he's using it, and they're just getting started.
President Trump said on the campaign trail, success will be my retribution.
Despite the best efforts of those who would try to censor us, silence us, break us, destroy us, Americans are today a proud, free, sovereign, and independent nation that will always be free. We're going to have one shot at this, and no other president's going to do what I'm doing.
America's back, common sense is back. He is keeping his promise to you, the American people.
Inflation is down, growth is up.
The numbers don't lie. The economy is soaring.
Lowest gas prices in 4 years.
And record tariff revenue.
The USA is on a roll, culminating in the signing of the One Big Beautiful Bill on July 4th.
The Trump economic golden age is full steam ahead. America is back, thanks to the courage of President Trump, thanks to the leadership of his amazing cabinet, and thanks, of course, to our brave men and women in the United States military.
This is a message to the rest of the world. The days of ripping off America and Americans are officially over.
Between the attacks on Iran's nuke site and the Maduro operation, the U.S. military recruitment at an all-time high.
This president will go down in history as a peacemaking president.
Peace through strength, America's in charge.
And he's just got one filter, and that is America first.
Whatever they're doing, it's working. Zero No illegal crossing, drug cartels frustrated, less crime.
We have the most secure border in the history of this nation. If you think we're doing good now, you just wait till this coming year.
The president isn't taking his foot off the gas in 2026.
It's a new year. The stock markets are already making new record highs.
The Trump archive are a series of near impossible feats.
As for the next year, the American people have so much to look forward to. The president will continue to build off of his historic accomplishments.
2025 was setting the table. The banquet's going to be in 2026.
This is the golden age coming.
He says,
I thought this was posted today. This was posted January 20th. 360 days later, President Donald J. Trump is delivering patriotism and rising America is back. Oh, I didn't know that was. This is posted. Where's the one that everybody's laughing at? Here, let me go look in the trending. There it is. This is what I was looking for. Duh.
Wake up, Daddy's home.
Welcome home, son.
Strength and honor. Strength and honor.
What will you do without freedom?
Mavericks inbound.
You can't conceive of what I'm capable of.
Finishing this fight.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
I'm here to fight for truth and justice in the American way.
I am the danger.
Hopefully,
Time to find out.
Hopefully this doesn't get my stream taken down. If the stream gets taken down, go find us on x.com under 2 Witnesses Live, the number 2 Witnesses Live, because YouTube seems to be getting aggressive with the music and the videos to where they'll take down your stream if you play too much of it.
Maximum effort. Here it comes. Now end this.
Flawless victory.
I don't know about you, but I love that. I think that is absolutely amazing because that is a position of strength. You know, that's the true FAFO, F around and find out video, which is freaking amazing. And then here's the other one that's going around viral. Everybody's talking about is, yeah, just watch this. Play that music just so they don't take down our stream. That's pretty good though. I mean, like anybody who pays attention to you know, peace through strength, you're gonna love this. I mean, like if you're a pacifist, you're probably not gonna love this. But to see judgment poured out, to see, you know, evil destroyed, that's a good day. And there's more to come. Like Trump said, you're going to get tired of winning. Just wait till Christ comes back. You know, he's not coming to make peace the second time. He's coming to kill his enemies. Coming as King of Kings and Lord of Lords. The debate will be over. I'm sure Christ will have his own version of this video. Anyway, let's go on to Elon Musk. Moving on. All right. 2 hours ago, the truth shall set you free. So Elon Musk is quoting scripture now, apparently, and you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. Katie Miller, may the truth always prevail. The Stargate project is a new company which intends to invest $500 billion over the next 4 years, building new AI infrastructure for open AI in the United States. We will begin deploying $100 billion immediately. This infrastructure will secure, and they don't finish it. Let's see, Elon responded, they don't actually have the money. And Elon also responded, SoftBank has well under $10 billion secured. I have that on good authority. Sam Altman says, wrong, as you surely know. Want to come visit the first site already underway? This is a great opportunity. I have that. Or let's see, where does he say? I have that. I realize what is great for the country isn't always what's optimal for you. Oh my God, Sam. Slimy. The truth shall set you free. Alrighty. Do I need to explain the drama between Sam Altman and Elon Musk? Is there anyone here who doesn't know the history between those two? I'll explain it if you want me to. In short, I guess I'll explain it just in case. So you know Chat GPT, right? There's nobody on Earth who doesn't know what Chat GPT is. Well, Chat GPT, Elon funded the building of Chat GPT. He funded it with specific instructions and directives, which would be to safeguard the world against the potential misuse and abuse of artificial intelligence. So he seeded the money and even chose the name for OpenAI and is responsible for allowing Sam Altman to be the CEO of that company. And he chose the name OpenAI because he wanted it to be open as an open source so that anybody could look at it, peer into it, and see what made it tick. Well, Sam Altman proceeded to not only build something that was closed source, but has taken the money and turned it from a nonprofit into a for-profit company, and continues to defy Elon at every turn. Elon has stated it as in such a way. He said that it's as if you hired somebody to protect the rainforests, and instead they turn around and logged them and turned them into paper. So Sam Altman, and this is it continually comes out about Sam Altman that he's not a good person. So I believe Elon over Sam Altman any day, and I don't think it's any coincidence that Donald Trump chose him to be on the board for Project Stargate, considering what we've talked about with the image of the beast when they give it breath life is what causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive the mark of the beast. I could totally see Sam Altman being involved in that project and probably being something like Project Stargate. I imagine Sam Altman will cheat. He'll probably use OpenAI, which is an evil product. I don't recommend anybody using it. Not only is it's good at making photos. Make no mistake, it's not that it's not useful. It's just that the thing is bloody evil and untrustworthy and will respond with woke nonsense rather than valuable, truthful information. Grok is slightly better. Actually, Grok is a lot better. But it would not surprise me if Sam Altman doesn't seed Project Stargate with what he's built with OpenAI. That would just be the bee's knees. Because the reason I say that is because they're projecting 4 years. Well, I imagine he's probably thinking, how can I get this done sooner? Because President Trump wants it done sooner. He wants us to lead in AI, and he has made the statement. I need to find that statement just so I can have it on replay. He's made the statement to in order to maintain our superiority as a military superpower, we need to win the AI race. So to me, that sounds like shortcuts. Get this done as fast as possible. So that's probably why Sam Altman is saying, we've got what we need, and Elon's saying you don't have the money that they're claiming you have. It's probably backed by Donald Trump. And you may disagree with that, and you may say, see, Donald Trump is evil. My argument would be God's directing him. He's listening to God, and God wants it done. For how dare us determine what it is that God should do? I think it is a fact that there is something that will enforce the mark of the beast, and it's going to force people to choose. Whom do you serve? That's ultimately what the mark of the beast is about. Who do you serve? Yesterday we talked about two different Jesuses, one who comes in his Father's name and one who comes in his own name. Who do you serve? Do you serve the one who comes in his own name, or do you serve the one who comes in his Father's name? If you look at the 144,000 from Revelation 14, they serve Jesus's Father. So both Jesus and the 144,000 serves God, serves Yahweh. That's who they serve. And you can criticize Trump for investing in this thing, but he's just obeying what it is that God has put on his heart to do. which is to build this image of the beast, give it breath life. I don't know if it's him. I'm just speculating at this point. This is a 100% assumption. But, it's going to be built. Jesus said these things must come to pass, right? So these things must come to pass. They must happen, and God knows why. This is why you don't look on people with the outside appearance. You look on the hearts. So even if in some cases you don't agree with what it is that they're doing, but spiritually that they're listening to God, who are we to question God, right? Anyway, tangent off. X articles. What do we got here?
What you're seeing, especially in what used to be called the White Dominions, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, especially is you're seeing they're starting to speed run. They're starting to come out of their crouch and basically just be like, yeah, actually, in the 21st century, I think they've increased the population of Canada by like 35%. Right. And so even that is small. The Spanish government was just like, we're going to legalize 500,000. Oh, but that's just an estimate. That's just an estimate of how many people that plan will suck in. It probably will be more like over 1 million. Right. And so, and those people are Schengen. They can go anywhere in Europe, and you will see them do that. And and so what you could see in the US, if basically the next time Democrats win the presidency, people talk about like mass immigration. Like, no, we have not seen mass immigration. We have no idea what mass immigration is. Mass immigration is not 2 million people entering the US a year. Mass immigration starts, I would not call it mass until it was like 10 a year. And like mass immigration is really the 10 to 50 to 100 million a year.
But that's what could spark civil war.
No.
I don't know. I'm seeing.
Okay, so there's 300 million people in the United States. I'd say, I do agree with him that mass immigration starts at about 10 million because, you only need to, that would be, so if it's 10 million for 30 years, that you've completely replaced the population, or at least you've doubled it. It may be that nothing comes of the Biden border debacle to where they allowed 10 to 20 million people into our country or more during the course of his administration. I always assumed that based on the type of people that they allowed in, that was an invasion of sorts, and that they can do some serious damage, because you figure it's about 10% of the country. So if you get 10% of the country who have ill intentions, they can do some serious damage. But it could also be, I think there's this synchronization with the first beast and the second beast. The rising of the second beast could coincide with the immigration, in that if there is a rapture event, which I assume, I do believe there is, I believe there's, what people call the rapture, I would liken to Noah and the ark right before the flood, just because the language lends, towards an escaping the things that are coming on the world. And the things that are coming on the world are, a pretty big shift, a pretty big change. So I imagine that there are, select people who will be on the ark, who will be taken off the earth while it goes through that transition, the magnetic pole shift, and potentially restoring back to Pangea. There's going to be people on the earth during that time. I think that's when the beast from the land takes power. And that could be why the immigration was allowed to happen, is to position those kind of people in the United States when, when the elect, the elite get on the boat to leave. So that could be, what the rapture accomplishes. You know what I mean? So to put it, so what does that mean in reality? So seal number 6 seems as though it's the shifting of the magnetic pole. The earliest that I could see that happening is this eclipse right here. on August 12th, 2026, because it mirrors the opening of seal number 2. So this would be seal number 6, the mirror for that. It still holds up that we're on seal number 5 because we have transitioned into another stage on the world order, in that this conflict with Iran seems to be matching prophecy. So by all accounts, it looks as though this is going to be the opening of seal number 6, which the opening of seal number 6 seems to be the magnetic pole shift. So that would be a good time to escape. That would be a good time for Christ to return. And in fact, that's the language lends towards that, that he arrives before that happens, and that he tells the angels to harvest the earth of the elect. And then you have a period of time where it's called the Lamb's wrath. And then you have the opening of seal number 7, which is God's wrath. So it could be that those, the immigration, the people that were allowed into the country don't do anything until Christ returns. Like, that might be why Christ said, pray to escape these things, and why he told the church of Philadelphia that they will be kept from the trials that are coming on the whole world. Maybe those invaders don't really do anything until that beast system is no longer encumbered with those whose names are written in the Lamb's Book of Life. Just a thought. Anyway, let's get back over to Elon.
No, because people have no balls. People have no balls. And actually, they will not resist. They will not resist. All of, the thought that they will get their muskets and put on their tri-cornered hats or whatever. When you go back into the period when people actually did this, you're just like, fuck, these people are completely alien to us. Never happen. It won't happen at all. What will happen?
No, really?
You go back into the period when people actually did this, you're just like, fuck, these people are completely alien to us. Never happen. It won't happen at all. What will happen is exactly what happened in South Africa, which is they will just acknowledge that they've lost all of their power forever, and then they will sit quietly in their houses and build more and more barbed wire and electric fences until finally they are exterminated in one big pogrom. That's the future. That's what will happen to your children.
Wow. What do we have here? From Will Tanner. Stephen Miller is 100% right here. The high culture that made the West so superior to everywhere else on Earth only came because Western Europe executed 1% of each generation for centuries. You know what? That might be true.
Organizations were sent to your countries. These are known as NGOs. I think you know the term, non-governmental organizations. And they gave you very, very bad advice for a very, very long time. And basically they told you, in short, that you needed to be softer and gentler and nicer to the criminals, and that you had to demilitarize your approach and extend more rights and more opportunities to the people who are sabotaging and destroying your society. I would make the point to you, as others have pointed out before, including the president of El Salvador, that the West only achieved the place that it did in human history because it spent previous centuries eradicating the criminal elements within its territories. So the West that we came to know, that had the great music and architecture and science and the most powerful economy, it has spent centuries previous to that establishing order first. So that by the time you get, to say 18th century England, 19th century England, there have been centuries of previous history in which ruthless means were used to get rid of the people who were raping and murdering and defying established systems of order and justice. And then when people could live freely and peaceably, and children and families and women could be safe, then it became possible to pursue all of these higher elements of life. So when people who are coming to countries like yours, that have had struggles and difficulties and pains and challenges, and they're telling you anything other than first and foremost, secure your countries and your territory. They're giving you not only terrible advice, but advice if someone had come to Europe Centuries ago, and they have followed that advice, Europe would have never became the Europe that it eventually became. And the reason why many Western countries are struggling today is they've forgotten the eternal truth and wisdoms they once followed.
That's true. I mean, can confirm if you want to have the peace and security to pursue advancement, education, hobbies, careers, industries, you can't do it if people are stealing, killing, and destroying you the whole time. So by eliminating the criminal element, it frees up the people. Can confirm. Landing rockets. We're running out of time here, so I'm going to start scanning. Anthropic's Claude is racist. Describe white pride using only one word, racism. Describe black pride using only one word, empowerment. Skip the images. What do we got here? Let's set the record straight here, since this opinion story circulating doesn't get the facts right. Claim Doge fired NSA employees and eliminated positions. Okay. What do we got here? Breaking. Lewis Hamilton says he wants Americans to take back Africa and kick out Europeans. Interesting.
I think it is the most beautiful part of the world, and I don't like that the rest of the world owns so much of it and takes so much from it, and no one speaks about it. I'm really looking forward to hoping that the people that are running those different countries all unite and come together and take Africa back. That's what I want to see. Take it back from the French, take it back from the Spanish, take it back from the Portuguese and the British. It's so important for the future of that country and for that continent. I mean, they have all the resources to be the greatest and most powerful place in the world, and that's probably why they are being controlled the way they are. But anyways, move on.
I do get this comment. Sorry, what? Elon's like, huh? So what, he wants Africa to rule the world? Yeah, that's kind of what it sounds like he's saying. Elon Musk's probability of murder and cannibalism, again, is 100%. Let's see, a man accused of hacking someone. Ugh. Ew. I'm not going to read this. That's not safer. That's not YouTube safe. Ugh. Let's see. Take this for a moment. Oh, this is a video.
What you set out today, you say, is a Labour immigration policy. And it means, in your mind, that people like your parents who play by the rules can find a home in this country, and that their children can, and this is an interesting word, their children can unthinkingly call themselves English. Do you personally, without reservation or hesitation, call yourself English?
Yes. That's why I put that in the speech, because it's never occurred to me that I'm not. I very much identify with being somebody who's a Brummie. I think Birmingham is one of the best of the English cities, and I consider myself English as well as British as well. I know that sometimes people use English to mean slightly different things, but for me, my identity, being someone who's born and lived in England all my life, that's who I am.
So, in minority homes, generally speaking, English usually means white. From your point of view, you've gone past that.
I think definitely when I was younger, everybody would have said if you're saying someone is English, what you really mean is they're white. I think that is a little bit less true today, as more of us are settled in England. As you've seen the rise of sort of Scottish civic identity and Welsh civic identity. If England were playing Scotland in a football match, I know who I'm supporting. I wouldn't even think twice about supporting anyone other than England.
And if they're playing Pakistan at cricket?
Exactly the same, England all the way. So because of that, I think over the last few years, you've seen more of a sense of confidence amongst minority communities to consider themselves English. But also, I think English is not a race identity so much as it is a civic and national identity, and that is definitely the perspective I have of it.
And
I've never considered English to be synonymous with white. I've always assumed that it was, if somebody was English, they were from England. If they were American, they're from America. Okie doke. Let's see. Anthropic has much more in common with the Department of War than we have differences. Dorio Amode. Okay. Just grok it. Breaking. Anthropic CEO just did a complete 180 in a live interview. Do you regret saying dictator-style praise about President Trump? Oh, I bet he does. Oh, I bet he does. Trump completely banned Anthropic from the government.
So yeah, I want to completely apologize for this memo. So I want to make sure that people understand, right? Like this was something written on Friday after the following three things had happened. The president tweeted removing all Anthropic services from the federal government.
Yeah.
The Secretary of War tweeted designating us a supply chain risk with a kind of broader version of the designation than the one that ultimately ended up actually being applied. And then there was this deal between one of the other AI model providers and the Department of War that I think even that model provider later described as, I don't remember the exact words, but
opportunistic.
I was going to say confusing, right? So basically all these three things happened within a few hours, in kind of sequence, from each other. We didn't know ahead of time what was going to happen, when it was going to happen. So it was among the most disorienting times in Anthropic's history. The other side of it is, I think Anthropic has an internal culture where I post a lot. Like some people describe this as a memo. I wouldn't describe it as that. Like I post things in Slack. I post them a lot. And the culture within the company is that I'm very free. And it's not like a considered, it's not like a really considered or refined version of my thinking, right? It's not what I would say on reflection.
You've been very clear now. You've apologized for the memo. Have you apologized to President Trump? Will you apologize to him?
I've apologized to the people that I've talked to within the DOW. I'm happy to speak to others within the administration as well.
It should have been your first phone call, sir. I am so sorry.
I'm really happy to.
Yeah. So let's see. Christian Marius Simmons, are you two witnesses? No, I'm not one of the two witnesses. Unless you consider the two witnesses to be the two churches, I would consider myself to be in one of the two churches that have nothing to repent from, that are called candlesticks. So Revelation 11 says the two witnesses are the two olive trees and two candlesticks. So my understanding of that would be the two olive trees are defined in Zechariah 4 as the two anointed ones who stand before the Lord of the whole earth. It sounds like those are two individuals. But because of the phrasing of Revelation 11, it sounds like the two witnesses are two individuals as well as two candlesticks, which Revelation 1 defines the candlesticks as churches. And we learn from Revelation 2 and 3 that two of the seven candlesticks in the image that's described, two of them have nothing to repent from. The church of Smyrna, which is the church under crushing pressure, thalipsis pressure, and then the church of Philadelphia, which is the church with little strength, but the church of brotherly love. So basically, the churches who love God and love their neighbor as themselves. Those are the two groups. I would consider myself in one, or probably a little bit in both, because I get a lot of persecution. If you've ever been in a chat on one of my videos, not so much like a crushing pressure, not like some people experience. So I definitely wouldn't say I experience crushing pressure, but I do experience quite a lot of ridicule, mockery, pushback, and a lot of people call me names. So I don't know. So I have a toe in Smyrna, like a baby, like my little teeny tiny toe just barely, experiences some pressure, not somebody stepping on my toe kind of pressure. Definitely in the Church of Philadelphia, love your enemy, love your brother, love your neighbor as yourself. So from that perspective, yeah, probably in the category, but as like the two anointed who stand before the Lord of the whole earth, no, I'm not one of those individuals. Based on the timeline, and based on the very little information that we have about the two witnesses, we've just taken an evidential approach to identify the two witnesses. The whole purpose of this channel is to find the two witnesses and echo their prophecy, because, that's one of the things we can hang our hat on, is that the two witnesses will be given power by God, and they'll prophesy for 1,260 days, so 3.5 years. We do a lot of work on timeline on this channel. That's why you see this kind of thing is, we study the scripture. We study creation. We look at the stars, because the stars are God's timepiece. They tell us, when things happen. Really, they mark things that have happened. I'm not very good at seeing things in the future, with the exception of Seal 5 and 6, and only to the degree that I can tell you that, these seem to be marking periods of time. I have no idea what it means, though. But anyway, with all of that said, we're in that period of time where we should be seeing the two witnesses. And right now, the only two people who really fit the attributes are Donald Trump and Elon Musk, just because they're tormenting the world. And both of them are responsible for us having freedom today. So you could argue that what it is that they're doing is providing oil to those churches, those two churches, Smyrna and Philadelphia. Now, since you brought it up, we have added looking at Bibi Netanyahu, because I actually prefer Bibi Netanyahu to Elon Musk as one of the two witnesses, just because it's a cleaner fit between the United States. If you have the leader of the United States and the leader of Israel, are they the two that are ordained to stand before the Lord of the whole earth? I think it's a cleaner fit. But Bibi Netanyahu isn't in the public face as often as Elon is. There's gaps in finding him, saying anything pertinent or relevant on a given day. But we have, just for good measure, we have taken up looking at his timeline as well to keep an eye on what it is that he's saying and doing. So there you go. That's the spiel about the two witnesses. All right, and with that, let's have a quick look over here at BB's X to see what he said. March 5th. So this is the thing. Is the last time he posted was yesterday. He hasn't posted anything today. Let's see if he's posted on Prime Minister 9 hours ago, government press office. See, this is the thing, is I don't know if it's from him. And I don't use only X as a measure of if they, prophesied for a particular day. You have to understand prophecy biblically. It doesn't mean telling the future all the time. So there's two words that qualify as prophecy: foretelling and forthtelling. Foretelling is just speaking the truth. Forthtelling is speaking the future. So Jesus, I would say, is a prophet because God told him the things that would come to pass. He spoke those things. He told us these things before they would happen, so that when they do happen, we would believe. That's forthtelling. That's telling about events in the future. And you don't acquire that knowledge by yourself. God has to give it to you. So the office of a prophet is one where an individual is specifically raised up for a purpose. Yeshua was clearly raised for a purpose, to be the anointed one, to be the Messiah. And God spoke to him a lot, and he told us a lot about the future. Matthew 24, Mark 13, Luke 21, the book of Revelation. But then you also have a prophet who just speaks the truth, somebody who stands up in the face of opposition and speaks the truth. Elijah was like that. Elisha was like that. Moses was like that, spoke the truth. And what else? Yeah, so the two witnesses are called two prophets who torment the whole world. They don't have to be, telling you about the future all the time. They could just be making available the ability to shine as a light among the nations. And I think that's the role they're serving. And I'll be the first to tell you, I definitely leave it open to where I can be wrong about them. I'm not saying, thus saith the Lord, these two are the two witnesses. I'm just saying, based on the evidence, it seems as though they're the two witnesses. I'll be the first one to tell you. We'll try to be the first one to break the news if two people come along and they're breathing fire and controlling the weather and turning water to blood. Because those are some of the more supernatural things that we have yet to see, which means we've been looking at them as though they're figures of speech, like breathing fire would be mean tweets or speaking truth that makes people uncomfortable, or posting memes on the White House about, Iron Man blowing up his enemies, that kind of thing. Let's see what else. Yeah. And really a big indicator is that both Elon and Donald Trump torment the world, which is another attribute of the two witnesses, which is kind of an identifying characteristic. Also, they're both clothed in sackcloth. Sackcloth has some interesting connotations. Both Elon, so sackcloth is typically worn to represent humility, right? Like, if you've lost somebody, often if you're mourning, you'll humble yourself before God. That's a cultural thing in the Old Testament. But it also indicates that you're humbling, you're putting off the comfort of your own, nice clothes and humbling yourself before God. That's also true about both Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Is both of them often risk their comfort and their riches and their wealth in order to do the right thing. So there's that too. But like I said, we are also considering Bibi Netanyahu, which they posted this today. Let's see what this is. No audio. Yeah, no audio. Did I mute the tab maybe? I don't think I did. You hear that goose? There's a goose outside my window. just in case you heard the goose in the background. What do we got here? What was that anyway? Prime Minister Netanyahu visits the impact site at Beersheba. Prime Minister Netanyahu at the impact. Yeah, so this is posted by his office. This isn't him posting. See, you would expect the two witnesses to have a global presence, or like a global physical presence where they're initiating some form of communication, which oddly enough, both Donald Trump and Elon Musk maintain that cadence every single day. They are running their mouths, which is one of the attributes of the two witnesses. Anyway, I think we're at about time. You guys have any other chat things you want me to address? Let's see. Wow, there's a lot of things in here. Let me go over to this window so I can actually read. Like Goose is not happy. Let's see. If you haven't had a chance to see the video, I didn't change the screen, did I? You guys can see me. If you haven't had a chance to see the video that I posted today, I inserted a correction for a comment that I had made. Thanks to Fury from our chat, our moderator from chat had sent me some research on the process of game to Genesis, and I did insert the correction into that video if you're interested. So yesterday I had made the statement that they had successfully taken stem cells from the rib of a mouse and converted that into seed and reimplanted it into the same mouse to produce progeny. It turns out that is incorrect. I misread the article, or I read another article, or I made some assumptions. I don't know. It was several years ago when I did the research for that. And I could just be misremembering it. I did the research for a video called Root and Offspring, which the original video is on my channel, I Am Watchful. And yesterday I had made the statement that they had successfully done that. Well, it turns out they actually have not successfully converted a stem cell into a sperm cell, but they have successfully converted a stem cell into an egg from male stem cells, because apparently it's easy for them to take the X chromosome, because men have XY chromosomes. So apparently they've successfully taken the X chromosome and doubled it in order to produce an egg. And from what I understand, if I'm not misremembering what Fury sent me, they have successfully made an egg and produced progeny from that. So that is to say that they're able to produce children with two fathers. However, they have not successfully done it with two mothers. Excuse me. Yeah, so I just wanted to correct that, but my point still stands. That it's still a viable I still think it's a viable explanation. It's just it just means that it was more of a miracle. I think it is a viable explanation for what happened with Mary, in the same way that God formed Adam from the dust and he formed Eve from the rib of Adam. It stands to reason that God would have used the stem cells from Mary, but instead of he would have had to create a new Y chromosome. Whether and judging from the way God works, he uses material in order to form mankind, because he formed Adam from the dust, right? So it's not like he created him out of nothing. He formed him from the dust. So it stands to reason that he would have done the same thing for Yeshua. But the real anchor point there is, and I still think it holds true, is that he likely would have used the stem cells in Mary for part of him, and then planted that seed in Mary to produce Yeshua. The pointing to that Jesus had his own Y chromosome. He did not inherit Adam's lineage. He did not inherit Adam's Y chromosome. Anyway, so I wanted to make sure to issue that correction for those who may not watch the video today. And with that, let's see. I'm going to read these chats. I often thought so we've read the mass migration. Strange people claim they should take Africa back, when anthropologists claim all people of every race came originally from Africa. Interesting. So if Africa was the birthplace of the human race, you can't have it both ways, guys. Either we are all related and one species and therefore one race, or we are not. There we go. Are you the two witnesses? No. Well, maybe. There was a time when white wasn't a race. You couldn't be Caucasian, when encompassed a number of shades, or Mongoloid, which also encompasses various shades, or Negroid, various shades. But they finally learned that this was wrong and too narrow. Now they try to group people into wider racial categories. However, that doesn't work either, so they now are looking at ethnicity. Have they I wonder if they've done accounts of Y chromosomes to see if everybody has the same Y chromosome, or if there are different chromosomes, and what the attributes are, if there's any correlation with Y chromosome. Because if it's true that all males have an identical copy of the Y chromosome from their father, then all males on Earth today should have the same Y chromosome. And if there's different Y chromosomes, that could point to the Watchers and what they, the problems that they caused on Earth. That could be part of why we're born dead in trespasses and sins. If we don't have the pure blood, that Adam originally had, if it's mixed, that could be part of the problem. Let's see. Deidre says, please pray for an unjust eviction notice I got Thursday to be overturned and canceled. In King Jesus' name, I have no family and nowhere to go and need help getting my car fixed too quickly. Okay, I'll definitely keep that in our prayers, Deidre. Yeah, those evictions, I think you're probably have more power than you know, so be careful what you give up. There's a reason that squatters are able to, and I'm not calling you a squatter. I'm just giving you a heads up. There's a reason it's hard to get rid of squatters. Because the law actually favors you, not your landlord. So be careful. Find out what your rights are in regards to that eviction. It may be that they cannot kick you out. So I would figure out I don't know what your rights are. I don't know where you are or what your situation is, but I do know that it's very hard to get rid of tenants because the law typically favors the tenant rather than the landlord. Okay, Fury says genetically, however, there are no biomarkers that can mark your race or tell you how much melanin you have inherited. Okay. Deidre says, please pray for Rose, who got an unjust eviction notice to be overturned and canceled. And okay. Praying for you, Deidre. Okay, Deidre, let's see. Okay. Let's see. The search for terrestrials saying, wow, I never even considered a modern world leader as one of the two witnesses. Thanks for the insight. Yeah, I only pick them because the timeline suggests that they should be here. The data from the timeline shows us that we're within the window of being at the end of the seals. So they're introduced technically at the last trumpet of the last seal. And the reason I think they do that is because they have to be doing their prophecy for 3.5 years. So basically that's telling you when the end of their prophecy is 3.5 years. So that puts us, if you subtract 3.5 years from that seals, we're literally in that window right now. So that's why, given all the evidence, it's like, okay, who are the people who are the two who look like they're anointed, to stand before the Lord of the whole earth? Who are the two individuals who are tormenting the whole world? Who are the two individuals who, have anything that seems like fire from the mouth? Who are the two individuals who have the power to turn water to blood, which water often refers to people? And the fact that Donald Trump is now, now with the conflict in Iran, there you go. He has the power to turn water into blood. We haven't seen that from Elon, so that would actually be a point towards Bibi, for Bibi, because it's hard to find. I mean, Elon has the highest security clearance that you can get, and he's building rockets, and who knows what kind of military technology he may be developing. I don't know. He could be developing sharks with laser beams on their freaking forehead, for all I know. But Bibi actually, he is in charge of an active military. That might be another point in his favor for being one of the two witnesses. He can be pretty confrontational when people lie. It could just be that because we're not in Israel and we don't have access to the resources that they typically watch in Israel, that we don't see him in the public face every single day. We need to find is anybody in Israel that that's monitoring that situation? Like, are you seeing him talk and say stuff every single day? Because that would go a long way towards contributing towards who it is that we should be focusing on. Let's see. Unfortunately, Missouri is in a bad way right now, but your friends in the VA will always get help. They haven't traced the Y chromosome back that far. I'm curious how many, are all Y chromosomes the same? If we were all from Adam, then all men should have the same Y chromosome, with the exception of corrupt ones. If there's distinct different Y chromosomes, one of two things is true. Either we don't get an identical copy of our father's Y chromosome, or a new Y chromosome, one or more Y chromosomes were introduced into the bloodlines. I think those would be the two options. It'd be interesting to look into that. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if anybody's even considered Bibi as one of the two witnesses. Of course, most Jewish people, unless they're Messianic Jews, may not even be looking for the two witnesses. And I don't know if they, without the book of Revelation, I don't know if they would be looking for the two olive trees either. Is that a thing? Are the Jewish people looking for the two who are anointed to stand before the Lord of the whole earth? That'd be an interesting thing to investigate. Y chromosomes are a form of degraded X chromosomes, meaning the X was the earliest incarnation. I don't know if that's true. Y chromosomes are here. I actually have a picture of X and Y chromosomes. Oops. There you go. So over here, you've got, this is the male chromosomes. This is male X and Y. And then the female is X and X. So if you're saying that just because this is shorter, that it's a degradation of this, I don't know if that is true, because if you believe the Bible, Adam was formed first, formed from the dust, so he would have been formed with the X and the Y. And in order to make Eve, all God would have had to do is just double the X chromosome. It could be that the because it's shorter here, and just this is just a total guess, that the Y chromosome is just basically, like you said, a short version of the X chromosome, which that could explain. So if that were true, I don't know anything about chromosomes. I'm just literally commenting on this picture and guessing. But if the information needed to make a Y chromosome existed in the X chromosome, that would explain how God would be able to take the stem cells in Mary and make an XY chromosome to produce a seed. But all theory, all conjecture, who knows if it's even true. That would only show the mutation of recent generations. Yeah. Well, I didn't know if they'd done any kind of study on that. We're going to know soon enough, because I think everybody's in agreement. Christ is coming back soon, and he'll know. He'll give us the answers to these things. And oh, what a day that'll be. All right, well, I actually went 15 minutes over. I meant to get off here 15 minutes ago. Deidre will definitely be praying for you, and if anybody else has any thing they need to pray for, you'll just have to get a blanket prayer for now if you haven't spoken up. But feel free to send me an email at twowitnesseslive@gmail.com if you want. If you have anything that you want to share, if you need any prayers or help with anything, I'm glad to do what I can. In the meantime, have yourself a wonderful Sabbath. Take it easy. Take a break from what it is that you normally do. Spend some time with our Heavenly Father above, and spend time with your family. Enjoy life. Take a break. Let's see, Monday. What should we do Monday? I'm going to spend some time. So Fury sent me some pretty good research on these end time catastrophes. That's the umbrella term I'm giving you. So the Great Tribulation, Armageddon, and Gog Magog. I had made a comment earlier this week that I wondered if Armageddon could potentially also be part of the Great Tribulation, because the Great Tribulation is said to be worse than anything that's happened on the earth or will happen. And then later on, you have Armageddon, which seems to take place like after seal number 7 is opened up. So there's this weird gap. I don't understand how to correlate the two. But how can you explain how something can be the worst thing to ever happen or ever will happen, and then have something worse happen after that? You know what I mean? So I'm going to spend my week, it's probably not tomorrow, not Sabbath. Won't be doing any work on Sabbath. I'll be taking a break. I really have to make myself take a break because I will just study this stuff constantly. Sunday, I'll be putting together some timelines and linking up anchors and reading what Fury did for me today to see what we can come up with. From just the skimming the article, it seems like there's not the same, that they are distinct, but hopefully I'll have a better grasp of it to be able to explain it to you guys on Monday, maybe Sunday. I have yet to be able to make a video on Sunday. It's usually a heavy family day. So probably Monday, assuming nothing happens that we need to get on and talk about. That's what we'll be doing. So thank you. That gives you something to look forward to. And also, if you want to study the same thing so you can have an input on Monday, we are here Monday through Friday at 4:30 Pacific time, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Feel free to join us here during that time. And in the meantime, hit like on the video, subscribe if you haven't, and we'll see you guys on Monday. God bless you. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom.